Okay, so to get to the InterpreTA service, you need to click on one of the tabs running across the bottom of the main work area. I'm going to go into the FX emerging for this walkthrough. So if we click there, it will jump us through to the InterpreTA main section. If you wish to return back to the Maverick charting, you would click on My Desktops, would take you back to the previous spot. If you have the news service enabled and running on your desktop, it will continue to scroll across the bottom as we have here, and if you highlight over it in the same way as in the main Maverick, you'll have a pop out of the news item that you're highlighting over, and then as you move off it, it will zoom back out again to give you the full screen. All InterpreTA screens are laid out in the same way as this one on this page here. There are three sections. The first section is the navigation across the top, which allows you to move between markets which are being recorded within this channel, or onto the summary page, which we'll come to shortly. On the main page itself, we're divided into two columns. In the left-hand column, we have the chart, which the analyst has drawn, and on the right-hand side, we have the commentary, which the analyst has written. Looking at the left-hand side, this is a standard trader-made chart. There are the standard trader-made oscillators, studies, technical annotations that the analyst may have decided to put on. The important thing about this chart is it continues to evolve in real time. As new rates come in, this indicator on the right-hand side here goes up and down, and the bars build up as additional information and time moves on. So the big thing here is that the users can see the chart build around the analysis which has been put on it. If we look at the right-hand column, this is where the analyst has written his commentary. The top half, well, if we look at the various sections, the banner here shows which market is being analyzed, and next to it is the date and time of that analysis. The time is always in GMT, so at the moment we're on British summer time because it's September, so therefore GMT is 1 hour behind the clocks. If we look inside this bordered box here, there are two pieces of information here. One is the multi-day view, because this is a medium-term chart. If it were a short-term chart, then there would be the short-term view in here. This is the analyst's commentary on the technical things that have been observed and extrapolations that can be made from those observations. Below that is a strategy. This is a strategy that the analyst would recommend following. However, we have to be very careful. As the disclaimer says here, this commentary is for information only, and the comments and forecasts are intended to be only of a general nature and are current only at the time of issue. This is neither an invitation or solicitation to buy or sell any product, nor a recommendation to buy or sell any product. We have to be pretty clear about that. Below this commentary section are some statistics for the market. These are the support and resistance levels. They're graded. Firstly, in terms of distance from the current market rate, which is this one in the middle here, but they're also graded in terms of their significance. So a 2-star is more significant than a 1-star, and we run a system between 1 and 4 stars. So a 4-star is a very significant support or resistance level. The little indications, this red arrow and green arrow, are showing the targets that we would expect the market to attain, or we would expect a trading strategy to attain. So one would be where you would take your profit, and one would be where you'd close out your position. Logically, the green one is where you take your profit. If we look at this other sub-column in here, we can see some further statistics. The past week's daily ranges are indicated here. This is the last 7 days. Today happens to be a Wednesday, so therefore we have the analysis from last today happens to be a Tuesday, so we have today's high and low indicated here, along with yesterday's and then the previous 3 days before that, which were last week. The TMI trend indication here is a short and medium term trend prediction by the analyst. and both in this case are downward, because this is a reasonably strongly downward trending market. And then below that are market highlights, which show the highlights for more or less the last year or the current year. It varies a little bit during the course of the year. And then below that we have the all-time high and low experience for this market. Finally, we have the summary tab. If you click on the summary tab, there's a précis of all of the markets within the channel. So what we're doing is we're bringing through the strategy and the graded support and resistance levels, along with a lozenge to show where the current markets are. And this is for all of the markets which are inside this channel. And on the right hand side column we have the economic diary for today. This updates every day. It updates during the course of the day. So we can see the earliest events are at the bottom and the latest events are at the top. These events here have not yet occurred, so therefore there's no actual column. However, these events here have occurred and they've been updated. So for example, the Canadian retail sales month on month for June was expected to be down 4%. No, the previous period was down 0.4%, was forecast to be up 0.5%, but was only up 0.1% in the end. So that really concludes this walkthrough of the InterpreTA service. If we return back to the market here, the only other points that are worth mentioning in this quick walkthrough are that the axes can be scaled and drilled into if the user wishes, in the same way that any trader-made chart can. However, the time frames for the bar sizes are fixed, and so they can't be changed. And of course, double-clicking returns it back to exactly where it was when the analyst created it.